Well, it's Steve here again, Insights channel. I thought to do something very interesting today. I'm working on another apocryphal book. This time not the book of Enoch, but the book of 2nd Enoch. This book's only about 37 pages long. I've also studied 3rd Enoch. In fact, I have a book here called The Complete Books of Enoch. It's got 1st, 2nd and 3rd Enoch. Well, I've written about 1st Enoch, Enoch Insights. Now I'm working on 2nd Enoch. But this is a much shorter book. What I want to say now, I just want to give you a little idea of 2nd Enoch. I'm not going to tell you all the chapters, but I'll just tell you that this book is fascinating. Everyone should read it. I do think it's anointed. I think 2nd Enoch. I don't know about 3rd Enoch, but I can vouch for 1st and 2nd Enoch. In this book here, it's called 1st Enoch, the Ethiopian book of Enoch, and 2nd Enoch, the book of the secrets of Enoch. 3rd Enoch, the Hebrew book of Enoch. Like I say, I cannot vouch for the 3rd Enoch. That's the one that talks about Metrodon. I don't know about that one, but I can certainly vouch for 1st Enoch and 2nd Enoch. But today I'm just going to talk about one chapter out of 2nd Enoch that's absolutely amazing. Because for those of us who believe in universal reconciliation, which goes something like this, that God created all things in the beginning, and in the beginning everything was perfect and beautiful. And because that is the case, the picture has to end up the same way, though even more complete, with full understanding of everybody, where there's no evil. Evil does not exist, and everybody's doing the right thing, and God's creation expands. That's basically the vision for universal reconciliation. Now I want to bring to your attention about certain beings. When we talk about angels and about humans, we are eternal beings. Our spirits are eternal. What about the fallen angels? Now I want to show you a chapter here that I find absolutely fascinating. It's the first time I've been reading this, but I'm already getting some insights to it. This is what chapter 18 says from Enoch, 2nd book of Enoch. The men took me onto the 5th heaven and placed me, and there I saw many and countless soldiers called Grigori, of human appearance, and their size was greater than of great giants, and their faces withered, and the silence of their mouths perpetual. And there was no service on the 5th heaven. And I said to the men who were with me, wherefore are these very withered, and their faces melancholy, and their mouths silent? And wherefore is there no service on this heaven? I would change the word from heaven to, let's say, dimension in modern terms. And they said to me, these are the Grigori. We'll have to look up that word. Who with their prince Satanael, Satan, rejected the Lord of lights. And after them are those who are held in great darkness on the 2nd heaven. And 3 of them went down onto the earth from the Lord's throne to the place of Hermon, and broke through their vowels on the shoulder of the hill of Hermon, saw the daughters of men. Here you are, Genesis 6 again. And how good they are, and they took to themselves wives and befouled, who in all times of their age made lawlessness and mixing. Talking about the mixing of DNA of humans and animals and angels and nonsense. And giants are born, and marvelous big men, and great enmity. Verse 4, therefore God judged them with great judgment, and they weep for their brethren, and they will be punished on the Lord's great day. Yes, talking about the great white throne judgment. And I said to the Grigori, I saw your brethren and their works and their great torments, talking about on the 2nd level of heaven. We're on the 5th level now. And I prayed for them, but the Lord has condemned them to be under earth. Yeah, they are. Under the earth, till the existing heaven and earth shall end forever. Of course, that happens end of the great white throne judgment, a new heaven, new earth. And I said, wherefore do you wait, brethren? And do not serve before the Lord's face, and have not put your services before the Lord's face, lest you anger your Lord utterly. They listened to my admonition, and spoke to the 4 ranks in heaven. And lo, as I stood with those 2 men, 4 trumpets trumpeted together with a great voice, and a Gregori broke into song with one voice, and their voice went up before the Lord pitifully and affectingly. Now this is my take on this chapter so far, and you can take it as you will. Let me know what you think. I think that Enoch saw things happening, as you know, the whole plethora of time itself, all the millennium, from beginning to end, as he says many times himself. I think what we're seeing here is the end of the picture. Prophets tend to be given certain things, and sometimes from one verse to the other in the Bible, it jumps 1,000 years or 2,000 years, this sort of thing. And I think with this chapter, what we're seeing the end of the whole thing. He even says it's in the 6th heaven. I think what we're seeing here is after the fallen angels have been judged, thrown in the lake of fire, and what you see described in that chapter is what's pitifully left of them. Because I don't think the fallen angels can be destroyed completely. Why? Of course, God, He's created, He can do anything He wants. But we're eternal beings. So I think in the case of the lake of fire, as we know from Revelation 21:22, when the inhabitants outside the city are those who had been thrown in the lake of fire, in the case of the humans, they came to live outside and live peaceably. What about the fallen angels and Satan were thrown in the lake of fire? I think we're just seeing in this chapter 18 of the second book of Enoch, what happens after these guys have had their judgment. I'm talking about the fallen angels, when they've been in the lake of fire. I think they are the Gregori mentioned here. Now they have no more rebellion in them. They look terrible because they've lost their light. And my golly, I hate to think what they had to go through to pay for all the damage they've done to this planet over the last 6,000 years. But anyway, that's the state they're in. But even Enoch has pity on them. And Enoch, of course, represents the bride. I think it's wonderful how women have compassion on animals and children, and being when sometimes the husband doesn't have the compassion. The women often have more compassion. Enoch represents the bride there. He represents the bride is coming along, seeing these angels in terrible state, but at first he doesn't even know who they are. They look terrible, they're miserable, they're unhappy, they don't have any power left, they look withered. Well, I would expect you would if you'd been through judgment, the white throne judgment, the lake of fire, where it says Satan will be cast in the lake of fire and its fallen angels Satan. I think, from what I've studied of First Enoch, the judgment on the fallen angels is a terrible judgment. Do you know that the fallen angels, they are made to go and gather everything they've ever created, everything, including their sons, the giants, and sons of the giants, of course, after the flood became the disembodied spirits, the giants became the demons. So the fallen angels have got the job, gathering up all their creations, starting with the giants and their demons and the devils. They're the ones who are going to destroy what they themselves created. They're going to have that privilege to destroy all the evil they've created. Oh yes, they themselves being eternal beings, but what they created was some sort of halflings, which are not necessarily created by God originally, therefore they can be destroyed. They have the privilege of getting rid of all the things that they, the fallen angels, created. Now you can imagine, if you have to do that, plus go through the whole lake of fire, you'd pretty much look like it's described in this 18th chapter of 2nd Enoch. But I think it's wonderful how Enoch comes along, not judging. He's saying, hey guys, like in the movies, like coming along and saying, why are these guys all so sad? Hey guys, lighten up a bit when you just praise the Lord, and then you get your light back. And that's how it appears to me. And it seems that Enoch is used in this case to encourage them, the fallen angels, that hope is not gone. And I think this leads right into the idea of universal reconciliation. Don't get me wrong, because they're so rebellious right now and impossible, look what they've done to our planet, look what they've done to God's creation, look at the horrors that happen, and they've led man and the merchants to do, and all the elite, what they do on this planet. Oh my, lots of punishment has to come first, lots of fire has to come first, I agree. But I think we're seeing in the 18th chapter of 2nd Enoch, after the fact, when all that's happened. And what it's showing us is, and what happened in that chapter? They ended up praising the Lord. Now, all of us know, what is the most powerful thing you can do? Is to praise the Lord. It brings His Spirit, it brings light. It will bring light back to them. And I saw that picture today. I was reading the chapter, I suddenly saw that these dark beings, they praised the Lord and light came back to them. That's what I saw. Not just today. So I thought I'd just tell you, I mean, take it as you will. You can take anything I say as you will. But it gives me hope that one day everything will be restored to perfection, and everything will be restored to the way it should have been in the first place, and it shouldn't have fallen, but did. So I hope you found that interesting, and I'm working on this book, the second book of Enoch, and I think it's going to hopefully be one of the best yet, because there are so many terms in it that I need to study in Greek, Latin, find out the original meaning, but it's got an amazing amount of information, just those 37 pages of the second book of Enoch. And I would judge it, yes, as being an inspired book, definitely. Inspired. Was it written by Enoch? Probably. It sounds a lot like First Enoch, and I know that was written by Enoch. I have looked at Third Enoch somewhat. I don't get such a good witness on Third Enoch. It was written by some rabbi 200 years after Christ or something like that. It doesn't have the same spirit as the first two books, First Enoch, Second. Oh, at least that's my opinion anyway. It's my discernment on the matter. But anyway, I thought I would give you a glimpse of the book I'm working on. And that's the second book of Enoch, because it is fantastic. It does back up completely First Enoch. In fact, in the book I'm writing on it, I'll put all the cross-references to First Enoch and to the Bible, as I've done with the other Insights books. Well, thanks for listening, and I would encourage people now to please do get my latest book, which just came out a few days ago, which is EZDRAS Insights. It's a book of 350 pages. It's a book, actually it's got 3 books in it. It's got the apocryphal books of 1st and 2nd EZDRAS, and it's also got a compiled book I made called 4,000 Years of World History, from creation to Christ. Now you can either get that book on us, and soon I'm going to make new platforms where you can get the books from. Maybe a bit cheaper than what Amazon sells it. We're concerned to get the books out to more people on more platforms in more countries. As the ones who have taken the time to read the books have said they like them very much, but we'd like to see a lot more people reading the books. So that's what we're working on now, to find more platforms where it's easier for people to get hold of our books, whether it be the paperback or it be on Kindle version or it be PDF. We want to make it available to as many people as possible. Well, thanks for listening. Have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.